as to why corruption is so rampant.
Sir,
the collectivistic orientation.
there must be some.
What is the status of the implementation of direct tax code?
So direct.
Address the challenges that are faced by our education sector.
Yes, ma'am.
Devender,
Good afternoon, sir.
good afternoon and welcome to this interview.
Thank you, sir.
So at the outset, I would like to repeat that this is not a mock interview. Please be as serious and sincere and intensive as
Yes.
you will be facing the interview in the Union Public Service Commission. I'm very
Yes.
happy to know that you preferred the Indian Police Service as the first option. May I know the reason?
So because I always wanted to be in a uniformed service. I come from a army background, so I always wanted to be in a uniformed service. My first choice always was to join Indian Army, and I tried many times to. I have given 6 SSB interviews, so the first preference was always to join Indian Army. But when I crossed the age limit to be able to join Army, then I opted for civil services. And since my first attempt, IPS has always been my first choice. So this time also I have opted for IPS.
You are from Army Institute of Technology from Pune, right? You did your
Yes, sir.
engineering. You are right now working as an income tax officer, assistant
Yes,
commissioner of income tax. Before
Yes,
that, you worked as a graduate engineer trainee in Reliance,
Yes, sir.
right? Okay. You are from Rajasthan.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You love the uniform. That's why you want to serve. You want to join the services.
Yes,
the
sir.
Indian Police Service. For all reasons, in the newspaper today, I found out that the ACB in Rajasthan has arrested a few officers.
Yes, sir.
And a few days ago, there was one officer who was raided, and from his house, some 300 crores worth of money was caught, including a lot of money, 4 crores or 5 crores. Rajasthan, unfortunately, or fortune, whatever it is, when the raids happen in a state, we say that, yes, the government is doing a good job. But also when you come across these kind of raids and this kind of money that is being caught, you also get aghast. You feel that such a corruption is allowed in the first place. What is your analysis as to why corruption is so rampant in this country, especially in the state administration?
Sir, I think that corruption is there is both a demand and supply angle in corruption. There is supply, people are ready to give money to get their work done. And so there is a supply, and because of the supply, there are people who are ready to demand. So basically, the ethical angle in our services is somewhere missing. We have our value system, I think we are somewhere lacking in our value system. So the corruption is both accepted by the society as well as people are demanding bribe to get do their duty, which is a very bad situation, not only in India, but corruption exists everywhere. But as you said, sir, that ACB has arrested, in Alwar there was an action. So we see that the people who are involved in corruption are also getting caught. So this teaches us a lesson, so that sometimes you may escape, but at the end of the day, if you commit something wrong, then there are chances, not chances, but there will be consequences of that.
Okay. You wanted to work for the army.
Yes, sir.
And you love the uniform. But supposing you are given in police posts, in such posts which requires desk job,
Yes, sir.
a lot of action, no action, only, for example, supposing you are posted in Human Rights Commission,
Yes,
which is exactly the counter work of an army officer, wherein you have to arrest your own people for a work that is done bona fide. Maybe because of because of some emotional reasons, they must have hurt somebody, and that has ultimately led to the death. But yet, you know that an honest officer, but yet you may have to prosecute him. How do you Because your love of a uniform on the one hand, your job in Human Rights Commission on the other may go contrary. How do you, make yourself reconcile to this kind of reality?
So first thing is that it's not just about the field job or the desk job. I think that every individual who works for the government or every citizen of the country, I consider them as a man in uniform. When you are doing your duty properly, that is, you are serving some interest of the nation and of the people around you, then you are a man, you are a soldier with uniform or without uniform. Right now, I don't have I'm in income tax. It's not a uniform service, but I consider myself to be a soldier of the country doing my job as a tax administrator. And as you said that, for example, I'm working in Human Rights Commission. So it is a very prestigious and a very human kind of job where I will ensure that if my own people from my own service, if they have violated certain rights, then rule of law should be upheld. The proper procedures shall be followed, and if they have committed some, if they have gone over what is required or what is allowed, then they should be punished.
Britishers gave the Indian police a uniform. It became Indian Police Service when we have our own free government in 1947. Before that, it was not a service. It was Indian Police Authority. Why uniform is there for a police authority? And when police becomes a service, why the uniform is still retained by the steel man of India, the iron man of India, Sardar Patel?
So a service can be done with uniform, without uniform, but I think that service, the uniform was still continued to give them a distinct identity where if people are facing some challenges or if they are in problem, they know that there is a certain person whom I can directly approach or who is there to help me. For example, in a crowd, if all are walking in civil uniform, the victims may not know whom to approach or who is the right person to help them. So I think to give them a distinct identity.
The UP model of bulldozer being the aid of the CRPC, the bulldozer in service of the CRPC, the UP model.
Yes, sir.
And it has been attempted in Jahangirpur recently in Delhi. A lot of demand is there for the bulldozer being in aid of the CRPC, apart from the policeman's lathi. Do you support that?
No, sir, I do not support this thing because this has been criticized. This has been criticized a lot, and Supreme Court has recently given a stay on the action which was conducted in Delhi. So, without conducting a proper inquiry, immediate action in the form of destroying, damaging the houses of the people or their livelihood is not correct. I think that a proper inquiry should have been conducted. Then there are courts to punish those people, and only if courts, and if there are encroachments, if courts give the order to remove encroachment, then only these things should have been done. So I think that the bulldozer model is not the correct approach.
You call it as a bulldozer model?
Sorry, sir. The question involved bulldozer model. That's why I'm using the word.
Fine. Mr. Hari.
Okay, so Devendra. Good.
Hello, sir.
Good
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. A question. Devendra, what is the meaning of it?
Devendra, it means Dev plus Indra. It's a name for Lord Indra, who is the Lord of the gods.
Okay. So in the study of your optional sociology, does this meaning of your name find some manifestation in some flavors?
Sir, religion and society we study as a topic in sociology.
Okay.
So religion has a significance in the society. We have in sociology optional, we study both science as well as religion. So there are certain objectives which are fulfilled by religion, and when religion cannot fulfill all the needs of the society, then there is science. So
okay. So what all is going on nowadays in different states, that some of the people who are very much motivated for the religious matters. So some law and order problem was seen, right? Can you name some of the places where the problem was seen in the news?
Sir, in Rajasthan, Alwar district was in news for these incidents. In Kota also certain incidents happened on during Hanuman. There is recently Hanuman Chalisa is very much in news. Then during the Navratri times also many incidents happened. In Madhya Pradesh certain incidents happened. In UP at certain places incident happened. Then in Delhi, Jahangirpuri also these incidents were seen.
Okay, and the stone pelting is also it was also noticed. Is it a sponsored attempt or it is a natural flow of the unruly mob?
Sir, it cannot be. I don't think that it is a natural. We can consider it as a natural response because India has been known for its brotherhood and for its secular culture. We have people from different religions living peacefully for centuries. But the recent trend, I think, there are certain groups who are serving their self-interest by inciting the people to create violence. Religious sentiments are being used. I think that youth is being misguided to commit such kind of crimes.
So, how your knowledge of sociology can be used by you if you are selected and you are into the administration? Say you are an IPS also. So, the knowledge of sociology, can you just connect the any core concept of sociology and use of it in service?
Sir, basically, the problem is that we have to make the people aware of what the actual social problems are. There are a lot many problems which are more important to be handled as compared to what is right now going on in the country. We have unemployment, we have hunger, we have starvations, and the caste discrimination, gender inequality. These are the major problems. Unemployment. These are the things which we need to tackle, and the people should be made aware that these are the issues which needs to be discussed and questioned, and we need to find solutions to these questions. So if we
the knowledge of sociology and your hobbies, like you play cricket and you play tennis too, what is the difference between cricket and tennis from the sociological perspective? What orientation is developed in a person who is playing cricket and a person who is playing tennis? So psychological impact of such game is there, social skill wise?
Yes, sir. I think that basically cricket is a team game. So you need to develop team spirit. You need to take the entire 11 players have to make their contributions. So if I look at a society, different sections, different people belonging to different strata, different religions, different castes, different cultures, they need to come together to create a very healthy environment in the world and in the society. Whereas tennis is mostly an individual sport. There are team game, there is a doubles game, but mostly tennis is an individualistic sport.
I understood collectivistic approach versus individualistic approach. Yes. So if I connect the Western society and Indian society, is it connected? Indian society is connected to cricket side more or to tennis side? Just leave everything, just forget everything and just connect Indian society for this lens of sociology.
So Indian society is more towards the cricket side of. I think that we can relate it to the game of cricket, where people from every section and different. For example, we have different religions, we have different strata of people who are working towards the.
So the individualistic pattern or maybe collectivistic pattern, in general, it is noticed in India more maybe, but it is not that individual pattern is not there. But yes, by and large, yes. It is a possession of some process, sociological process, or any other scientific factor, or it just came like that only.
Sorry, sir, I cannot recollect it right.
the collectivistic orientation, it is just a natural unfolding, or any causation or any reason you can attribute for this noticing?
There must be some, I cannot recall the reason, but there must be some reason why people came together, and why, for example, I'd like to quote Karl Marx. Karl Marx, he said that there will be that proletariat will come against capitalism. So there will be when there is a collective approach, then only the labor class, the have-not class, will come together and to claim their right position in the society against the haves who are involved in exploiting those people.
Okay, Devendra, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Will you please ask the question?
Yes, Mr. Chaudhary, first of all, congratulations, you are already part of the service.
Thank you, sir.
So first thing I want to know from you is, when is the Civil Services Day celebrated in our country?
Sir, 21st of April.
And why is it celebrated?
Yes, sir. 21st of April. On this day, Sardar Patel called civil services as the steel frame of the country. So we celebrate 21st of April as the Civil Services Day.
All right. And do you have any idea when is the Police Commemoration Day celebrated?
Sorry, sir. I do not know.
IPS being your first preference, I think you should focus on that.
Yes, sir.
Anyhow. Since you are a tax administrator, please give me an update on what is the status of the implementation of direct tax code.
So direct tax code is still in a discussion phase. In order to simplify the taxation laws, it has been in discussion since last few years, and this is the way ahead. We talk that the Income Tax Act is very complicated, and it needs to be simplified in order to increase our tax base and in order to ensure more compliance from the people. The direct tax code is the way forward, but it's still not yet being implemented.
All right. Okay, so let's go to our southern neighbor. Could you please tell me some reasons why the crisis is going on in Sri Lanka? Like why Sri Lanka has reached to this situation?
So basically, it's the foreign exchange reserves are very low. Then there are inflation is going on in the country. Then corruption was one of the major issues, and these the monetary value of their currency has decreased. So all these have led to very high inflation rates, and there is unemployment in the country. So which is leading to social unrest, and there are demands against the government. Certain cabinet ministers have resigned. So basically, their financial position is not good, which has resulted into the crisis in the country.
So as a tax administrator, what would you suggest the government? What has to be done and what could have been done to save the situation?
In order to save the situation, the revenue supply basically has to be ensured. A proper tax rate has to be implemented on the corporate sectors, on the individuals, which will then increase the reserves of the government. And then these problems, basically what Sri Lanka is facing, they are facing a debt. They are not able to even serve their debts. So their ratings are decreasing. The social situation, there are social unrest in the country. So as a tax administrator, I would suggest that the tax collection has to be up to a level. They have to maintain a proper tax to GDP ratio, which is maintained by the Western countries or the OECD countries. And basically, the corruption angle also comes in. Basically, there are tax evasions, and these things, they need to be handled properly. Then only if the government has the reserves are full, then only they will be able to implement they will be able to tackle the inflation rates and the law and order situation which is going on in the country.
All right. Now moving to some of your interests. Recently, there was a controversy related to Mr. Will Smith in an award function. Are you aware about that?
Yes, sir. I have read a little bit that during the Oscar functions he slapped the comedian or something. I have not read it completely, but yes, there was a controversy with Will Smith.
Okay. Are you aware about any award that he received, the Oscar?
Sorry, sir.
For
I
a,
do
for a
not know
movie?
which. Yes, sir. I
Okay,
do
so
not.
he received an award for the movie called King Richard.
Yes,
Have you
sir.
heard about that movie?
Yes, sir. I've heard about the movie.
What is the movie about?
It's based on the life story of Serena Williams and Venus Williams' father, and I have to watch the movie. I have not yet watched the movie.
I think you have written tennis in your tab, so I think you should
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
know about this
Sorry, sir.
controversy.
Yes.
And do you know why why Will Smith slapped
No, sir.
the person? Okay.
Sorry, sir.
Anyhow, that has relations to your sociology, so I could have asked questions on that. Anyhow, so now please tell me, what do you understand by mixed doubles?
Mixed doubles, when when male and female players, they both form a pair, then that is a mixed doubles game.
All right, so it's a part of tennis.
Yes,
So now one more thing, that you are fond of cricket and you have won many awards in cricket also. So the way we have mixed doubles in tennis, so can we have a mixed team in the cricket? What is your take on that? How, if a team comprises of both males and females, how do you go about it?
Yes, sir. I think that this can be a very interesting option to create more interest among the public. We see that men's cricket is very famous. The popularity of men's cricket is very much. Women's cricket has also started coming up after BCCI has started sponsoring the women's cricket team also, and ICC is also organizing various women's events. For example, we recently had the Women's World Cup. But this is a very interesting and innovative idea that if we form mixed team, then yes, the popularity of the game will, I think, that will become more. And such concepts we use in our college days, and we form a team where we have one or two female players in the team. For example, in the academy, when we were undergoing training at the academy, we used to have the mix, 2 or 3 female players and lady players and other officer OTs.
All right. So suppose you are the chairman or the competent authority in BCCI, and you propose this idea of mixed team in cricket. So what are the practical challenges that you might face, and how will you deal with them?
So I think that first, the challenge, the sponsors may be little reluctant because the monetary angle comes in. Means how are they going to market such a tournament, or whether people will be willing to pay to watch such things. Then second is the selection of the players. I think how means number of batsmen or number of bowlers who should, how many, the number of the composition of the team, means 5 men or 6 5 men 6 women, or how we should form a team. And second, one more thing is that the dimensions of the ground are different for men's and women's cricket teams, so that will also be a problem, a challenge. I think that also needs to be basically the standards also needs to be modified accordingly.
Right. And you have a hobby of watching movies also. So and you want to go to IPS. Could you please name 4 or 5 Hindi movies which are based on Indian police?
Yes, sir. I can name those. Singham and all. I don't like those movies, but they are certain
fine.
movies.
They are still movies, no? You can just
yes, sir.
list them out.
So Singham 1, Singham 2. These are 1 and 2 of the movies. Then sorry, sir. Immediately, I am unable to recall the name of the movies.
All right, so I'll have to limit my questions to Singham 1 and 2 only. What is your take on the portrayal of Indian police in these movies, and how do you think they are related to the actual challenges that the police faces, and your take on it?
So Indian movies, I think that they go a little overboard. There are certain limitations in service, which as an officer you will have to face. You cannot do everything what is shown in the movie. such kind of movies, I think that their imagination level is different. A single police officer will beat 10 people, 100 people. That is not possible. Then it shows that they can take any action. They will go and arrest the chief minister. They'll do this and that. But it does not happen like that. There are proper procedures which needs to be followed. A proper investigation needs to be conducted. And you cannot break the law. You cannot do anything which is shown in a movie. There are human rights angle. Then there is rule of law which needs to be followed. So I think that what all is shown in movies cannot actually is possible to be done on ground.
All right. So can you name a movie which was based on income tax officer raiding some place?
Yes,
Recently?
the movie was Raid was the movie, which was, and I found the movie to be more practical. What was shown in the movie was, after having worked for 4 years in income tax and having attended various searches, I think that the movie gives a good idea about how the department works and what are the challenges we face.
All right. Thank you so much. It was really interesting talking to you, Mr. Chaudhary. Now I hand over to Mr. Ektash.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Hi, Devin. How are you?
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm fine.
You have mentioned teaching as one of your hobbies,
Yes.
right? So, have you taught students, and of what level?
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, I developed this hobby. I have twin brother and sister. They are 7 years younger to me. So, I developed this hobby while teaching them. I used to teach them in school. So, through there, I developed this hobby. And after that,
okay.
And right now, I try and teach whenever I get time. I try and teach the children in the society where I live. We have the people who come to work for us, who, for example, the maids who come to cook and clean. So whenever on Saturdays and Sundays I get time, I try to teach their kids. So it's mostly I try to teach kids from standard 8 to 10th. For teaching smaller kids, it's little, I think that I can contribute more to the kids who are in 8th to 10th level. I can guide them more.
You feel that teaching the primary section kids is a little too challenging?
It's not challenging. I think this is what, as after having achieved something, I think it is my duty to motivate people and to show them the right path, what they also can achieve. Whenever I go to my village, there are kids of farmers. I come from a small village, so I try to tell them that what are the options available to them and what it is possible to achieve through hard work, and how I think that it's my duty to guide them.
Okay, so it seems that you have a very fair experience teaching students of school, right? Okay, what do you feel are the major challenges? Like after teaching all the students, you can see that there are various challenges that a current education sector is facing, right? Can you please name the major challenges, what according to you is holding back our education sector?
Sorry, ma'am, I think that the major challenge which we face is shortage of teachers in our schools is one of the major problems in government schools. Shortage of, for example, in the rural areas, in the 10th to 12th standards, they do not have separate teachers. For example, for certain subjects like maths and science, which are very important, they don't have teachers. Either teachers are not posted there, or teachers have not been allocated to those schools. So absence or shortage of teachers is one problem. Then the other challenge is that the options which are available to the kids in the rural areas, basically the mindset is that teaching, sending the kids towards the science stream involves a lot of cost. The parents, they think that they will not be able to afford their future studies, for example, higher studies in engineering or other background. So what they mostly do is they choose the safest option irrespective of the interest of the kid. for example, teachers are available for humanities subjects, and they don't need to invest so much, so they will send them only to humanities, even if the kid is interested or is interested in other, for example, in commerce background or science background. So that is one problem. Then, although the situations have improved, but still the girl kids are facing problem in after, for example, they till the 8th standard, okay, right to education, people are sending their kids to school, but after that they they are not so interested in investing in their girl childs. So that is another challenge.
Okay. Now, see, the few of the problems that you mentioned, that yes, the technical side of education, like the medical and non-medical side, they are expensive. And yes, practically it is very difficult for a normal person to send their child to an engineering college or a medical college. However, you must know that new education policy has been launched by the government recently. What do you feel? Can you point out certain features of this policy that can possibly, you know, address the challenges that are faced by our education sector in today's time?
Yes, ma'am. In the new education policy, the concept of bridge courses has been introduced. Then secondly, the grading from different, sorry, how do I put it? There are options available to the kids. For example, if they choose a particular path, even then there are options to switch. If they realize that this is not the correct path for me, I may opt out for certain this thing. Then this new education policy, I think, that is trying to implement the concept of nayi talim. That is, for example, what is the word that I use? Sorry, ma'am. For example, the practical aspect is being focused more. Rather than rote learning, they are trying to develop skills in the kids. We talk about skill development after education, but the new education policy is trying to inculcate the skilling part during the education.
You mean the vocational studies, right?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I was unable to recollect the term.
Okay. So these are the, you still have not mentioned the exact pointers that can address the challenges that you mentioned. Anyhow, moving on. Now, the pandemic, in our new education policy, they have also introduced a very new concept of mixed learning, wherein there is an option of offline as well as online classes. The pandemic has shown a very different level or a very different facet of education to all of us. In fact, online classes and online interviews is very much in vogue. However, online classes, they do have certain, drawbacks. Can you mention a few drawbacks that these online classes have?
Yes, ma'am. So first thing is the digital divide which exists in our society. Not everyone is able to have access to online classes. So that is one of the major challenge. Then second challenge is that, yes, although classes are being conducted, but the involvement that a physical classroom, the involvement of kids that happens in a physical classroom is not able to be recreated in the online mode. And it depends on the interest of the kids, how much they are willing to take. And for example, small kids, when you are practically going into a school, that is a different environment. You develop various social skills which are now not getting developed because the kids are just closed, isolated in the rooms. So, and they are not able to interact with not able to interact with other people. So there is an angle of personality development also which comes in. And it is very challenging for the teachers also, because our teacher, I think that our teachers are also, this is a new idea, new thing for our teachers also, how to conduct classes, to prepare the material, and certain things. The chalk and blackboard is still very relevant, I think, that in the education system.
The overall Indian idea of Guru Shishya Parampara is going to be affected, right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Apart from this, there is a very peculiar feature of our new education policy that deals with, as you might have recently, we have seen various videos where the teachers are incapable of teaching even the primary classes. Like when they were asked questions related to basic spellings, they were not able to answer, right? So there's a very peculiar feature of new education policy that deals with this incapacity. So can you mention that?
Ma'am, the new education policy, it talks about the teachers training is being given more importance. That mid-career training and the regular updation of the teachers, the curriculum of the teachers, as well as, for example, we have the concept of mid-career training in services. So that type of concept is going to be implemented in schools also.
Okay. Now, my final question from you is, if you're given an option between power and money, which one would you choose and why?
I think power in a positive sense.
How come power in a positive sense?
Power with, if I have power to improve the life of other people. So power means decision-making ability. So if I have the, if I am given the option to choose and to take decisions which will have positive impact on the life of people, I think I'll choose that sort of power.
Okay, very well. Thank you so much. Over to you, Ramesh sir.
Thank you, Chaudhary Saab.
Thank you, sir.
I'm very happy with you. You have answered the questions very well because of your 4 years of background in the civil services already, in the income tax. Please wait for some time.
Devendra, you can leave this meeting for a minute and using the same link, you can join us back. Meanwhile,
Okay,
we can have the discussion about you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Devender,
Yes, sir.
yeah, how do you feel now? How many marks you will give to yourself out of 100 with your performance?
I'm not happy, sir. I was not well prepared.
Fine. What's the number that you give?
I think 35, 40, sir.
No, you're not so bad. You're doing very well. In fact, see, having seen so much people up and down, and the board unanimously decided to give you around 65% marks. You did well, but you could have gone up to 75. You have a lot of potential, right? All the very best. If you have any one question, you please ask. We are already crossing time.
Yes, sir. I'll try to improve. Yes, I'll try to improve. And yes, sir, I need to, you said that when to stop is very important.
Practice.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so Devendra, it was all good. Maybe it is a mock interview. Sometimes that, casual frame that way came. You will not be doing it in the actual interview.
Yes, sir. I'll not.
If so, then appear in the offline mock interviews also at our place if you are in Delhi or if you get time.
Yes.
And overall, the frame is good. Sir has given, and all people have given wonderful input. And what all happened in the last interview attempt? How many marks you got?
Sir, I gave 2 interviews. I got 165 in both the interviews.
Okay, so that's nice. And just with these input, and I think you have more than 25 days time around.
Yes.
Okay, 20 days time, I can say. So it is a good time. Just keep your health intact and just work.
Yes.
All the best, Devender. I would like to wish you as Devender IPS.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you may leave the meeting now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.